If you were to achieve your business vision, what would success and prosperity look like for you? How would the world be different as a result of your success? What would the media say about you? How much profit would you be making? What would you actually be doing every minute of every day? Listen, if you don't have answers to these types of questions, then it's easy to get caught up in the minutiae of everyday detail, like the color of your logo, the texture of your business cards, and which profile image to use, and God forbid, which paper planner to use. And you become overwhelmed by these insignificant decisions and distractions, running around in circles and ending up exhausted, overwhelmed, and teetering on the edge of burnout. So focus on the right questions so that you can design the right business for you. You are listening to the Thriving Empire podcast, a show designed exclusively to help you avoid working 24/7, to help you eliminate overwhelm, and help you live your ultimate life while you figure out how to make money from your ideas. This show should be your number one resource for no-brainer strategies, tactics, and tips for launching your ideas with more ease, vision, and freedom so that you can change the world drama-free. I'm your host, Stephanie Holland, strategist, traveler, and coconut macaroon addict. Welcome to Season 2, Kickstart Your Mini Empire so that you can create the life you really want. So let's get started. How are you? Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful, clear, sunny day here in El Paredon, Guatemala. It's low humidity. My dog is not dying of the heat today, so he has a spring in his step. Then again, he has very low standards for happiness, and if only we could all be like him. And as for me, I spent the morning reading in my hammock. My morning is everything that happens before 9 a.m., and then it pretty much is afternoon as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, life is good, and I hope it is good for you too. So today we have a workshop episode, which I love. So just like episode 21 in life design, you can use the worksheet I've made for you available in the podcast study pack to follow along with this episode, or just hit pause and workshop it by yourself as we go with pen and paper. So let's get started with the reason why it is so important to design your business with absolute detail and care from a high level perspective. Here's the thing. The majority of my business strategy clients come to me. My niche is, people who've started within 3 years, and they often aren't able to answer the questions I pose at the beginning of this episode, or the 14 others that I'm going to share with you in a minute. And as a result, they tend to find roadblocks when what they really want are new roads in their business opportunities. So having a dynamic business vision, which is basically just knowing or having a kind of a belief or a vision of what your business will look like and feel like at some point in the future, really generates powerful momentum in a specific direction. So it really helps you make decisions. It gives you a focus point, and it really helps you generate momentum as a result. Otherwise, as Lewis Carroll said so eloquently, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. So, having created a future focus for yourself personally in episode 29, here in this episode, we're going to shift the spotlight of your future focus to your business. And there are specific benefits of a future focus on your business. Because when you have this very exciting, very specific future focus, you can really use that excitement to fuel your day to day and overcome any challenge you're presented with, because you have a bigger picture vision that you're excited about and working towards. It also helps you make high integrity decisions about what you do and what you don't do, how you spend your time, what you invest in, and for example, even who you hire in your business, how you grow a team, and if you grow a team. It also helps you say no to anything that doesn't align with the business you want to create. So like certain media opportunities, for example, interviews, or, maybe even a TED talk, or contributing in some way that doesn't match up with your vision. You'll be able to say no to everything that doesn't align. And yes, a very, very strong yes to everything that does. You'll also be able to create the right work for you, which hopefully focuses on what you actually enjoy doing, that will help you build the business that you will enjoy running. Also, it helps you develop the right model, plan, and strategy for you. And it will help you shape the exact products, services, and offers that will propel you towards the life that you want. So, for example, if you truly want to be location independent, you won't build a one-on-one coaching business online that requires you to have internet access all the time or be in certain places at certain times. So, essentially, it's an opportunity to do some very high-level critical thinking about your ultimate goal and what you need to do, be, and build to create it. So my yearly process, which is, yes, I do this every year and I absolutely love it. It's inspired by an exercise called Your Painted Picture, which is from a book called Double Double by Cameron Herold. I first heard Cameron Herold in an interview with Laura Roeder back in 2010. Now, Laura Roeder had her own interview show at the time. She's now the founder of the social media scheduling tool called Meet Edgar. And she was interviewing Cameron, and he just sounded brilliant to me, so focused. And so I bought the book right after that, Double Double, and I love the whole book. He really talks about how to envision your business even when you're a company of one. And I love his emphasis on company culture before you even make your first hire. So a lot of what he said really resonated with me. But what I especially loved was this exercise, Your Painted Picture, which you can read for free, actually, if you simply download the sample on Kindle. But since then, so since 2010, I've done it every year. And it's also been recommended to me over and over and over again by all the people I admire in online business and doing great things in the world. So I know that it's a process that has helped so many of my mentors achieve their level of success as well. So for the first few years, I used it as a guide for the vision for my life and work, as I actually started as a consultant and author back in 2010. And then when I started my online coaching business in 2014, I also then began using it for that. So I found it a very versatile tool for adapting to my own needs, and it's served me very well. It's really changed the game for me in so many ways, but especially in the way I approach every project and my business as a whole. And it's literally enabled me to shift my focus to what's important and not focus on the things that aren't important. So it's a series of questions that invites you to peer into the future of your business and helps you create a dynamic, high-level overview of what your business will look like and act like by a certain point of time, and of course the role you play in it. So it's got such detail as this: how do I feel about what I do? What do the media say about me and my business? And how big is my team? And how do we operate? So there are 19 questions to guide your dynamic business vision. And of course, I have a worksheet for you in the podcast study pack available at stephanieholland.co/34. So you can either use that or, as I said, pause this episode after each question so that you can take a few moments to answer it and workshop it yourself. But first, this is what I recommend you doing. I really think it's important to set your timer for 20 minutes and then sit quietly with your eyes closed and simply envision your business in the future. So your responses to the written questions will be more powerful if you do this step first. And what I find interesting is that Cameron suggests that you imagine filming your business, fly-on-the-wall documentary style in the future, or maybe traveling in a time machine or a magic carpet 3 years ahead. However you get to that point of time 3 years ahead, you got to ask yourself, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel when you're walking around your office, whether that's at home or in a co-working space or in a large office building? And what do you see when you're walking around and doing business with your clients or customers or working with your colleagues or your team or by yourself? So if you're ready, hit pause now and do that. Or, of course, listen to the rest of the episode and come back to this point later. But then I want you to take the time to answer these next questions in order. So what you can do if you're workshopping it now is pause the episode after each question, and then you can take a few moments to answer that question. I would say give yourself a maximum of 3 to 5 minutes per question, right? This is not supposed to take days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks. This is just a short afternoon exercise. And if you're really fast like me, you probably do it in 25 minutes if you're already quite clear. But if you're not already clear, then use this as a way to begin asking the question for the first time, and then maybe once a week over the next few weeks, revisit your answers in 30-minute workshop sessions to kind of iterate and fine-tune and kind of polish your answers. So here we go. Are you ready? Question 1. What is it that I do? What do I do? Question 2. How do I feel about that? How do I feel about the work that I do every day? Question 3. What does success look like? What does success look like for me and for my business? Question 4. How is the world different because of my success? How is the world different because of my success? Question 5. What's in my portfolio of products and services? Question 6. What's the culture and spirit of my business, whether I am a company of one or I have a collection of freelancers or employees? Question 7. What is my company brand and image like? Question 8. How do I create value for my audience and customers? Question 9. How are my communications perceived? How is my content, my marketing, and my overall communications perceived? Question 10. What exactly is my marketing like? What is my marketing philosophy, and what does that look like in the world? Question 11. What do my financials look like? You can talk about things like cash flow in this section. Question 12. How is my profitability? What is my profitability? What does that look like? How does it flow? Question 13. How is my company funded? Question 14. Who is in my team? Do I have employees? Do I have freelancers? Do I have a VA? Who is in my team? Question 15. What are day-to-day operations like? How does the company work? How does the company function? Question 16. What is my office or workspace like? 17. What do the media say about me? What do the media say about me and my peers and my colleagues and my friends? 18. What's the scope and scale of my business? Am I local? Am I regional? Am I national? Am I global? Am I, like Richard Branson, galactic? Question 19. What are my core company values? And this may link loosely to your culture. It may not. What are my core company values? And that's it. All those are the 19 questions. Now, for me, this has been a spectacular process of creation and discovery every single year. Sometimes I change it, sometimes I build on it, sometimes I don't change it at all. But I always take the time to sit down and answer these questions. So what I have right now is a 6-page document that I read once a week. It's a fast read because I love it. It's just cool to read it, and it fills me with excitement, and it really keeps me fired up and focused about my business and the impact I want to have. And its power really is beyond what you could imagine. Now, because also investing time and energy in this now can save you hours, days, months of mistakes and bad decision making, because subconsciously the decisions you make will be aligned to this vision. And I love what Charles Haanel had to say. Now, this is a quote right out of a book called The Master Key System, which is on one of my favorite books on my metaphysical reading list. He says this: Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest inventors of all ages, the man who has brought forth the most amazing realities, always visualizes his inventions before attempting to work them out. He did not rush them in form and then spent his time in correcting defects. So now a lot of us, including me, especially at the beginning, spent so much time redoing my website, redoing my programs, redoing my copy, redoing my positioning, redoing my who, what, why, my elevator pitch, all of it. And I could have bypassed all of this redoing of everything simply by having a much more articulate, exciting, and clear vision of my business in the future. So this is also a huge time-saving strategy. And personally, I also know that reading it every week and holding it, really visualizing it in my mind's eye, in my heart, feeling that excitement in my body really does help me to stay motivated and come up with more ideas that move me towards it. Now, Cameron Herold himself says that a vivid vision brings the future into the present so that we have clarity on what we're building now. And it literally pulls clarity from the future into the present to keep us motivated and building momentum. So if you're brave enough as well, sharing it with others infuses it with accountability. And I find that really exciting as well. Almost a little bit scary, but in a really good way. So once you've done it, you can also make sure that it aligns with your personal vision that you have for yourself. I call this your future focus, and you created that in episode 29. And it's really powerful when the two align, because you've got to remember that your business is a way to help you create and sustain the life that you really want. And part of the life that you really want is who you want to become, the kind of person you want to be, and the kind of experiences that you want to have. So the two of them, your life and your business, need to be very, very closely aligned. And then all you have to do is add a weekly reminder in your phone to read your dynamic business vision so that you can benefit from the electric feeling that it gives you every week. So give it a go. If you have the Podcast Study Pack 2, crack open worksheet 1.6 to design the right business for you. I'm going to guide you through it step by step in the worksheet. And if you don't have your copy of the Podcast Pack yet, what? Don't worry. You can grab your copy at stephanieholland.co/34. What you get when you purchase the Podcast Study Pack is a worksheet for each episode so that you can implement your learnings and insights ASAP into your life and work. You'll also get a masterclass lesson on how to cultivate a healthy tech life, a masterclass on how to design your ideal relationship while you're starting out, whether you're single or partnered up, and a ton of other resources I don't share anywhere else. It's $27. Which I think is a steal. But listen, if you don't want to invest in the study pack, but you love the show and you'd love to support us, well, me and the show, I consider us, you can actually just buy me a coffee instead if you'd like. So just head over to the show notes at stephanieholland.co/34, and you'll find a little buy me a coffee button in the sidebar or the blog post. It helps me stay ad-free and caffeinated so that I can keep creating the best content for you. And if you love the show and you just want to leave a review on iTunes, that would also be amazing. I would be forever grateful because it helps other people discover the show too. And I want to maximize my scope and scale as well. That would be totally amazing. Thank you in advance for doing that. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next time on Thriving Empire. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode. I really appreciate you being here. Remember, you can get the podcast pack for season 2 by heading over to stephanieholland.co/podcast pack 2. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or inquiries, the best way to reach me is to DM me on Instagram via @StephTHolland, or head over to my website, stephanieholland.co, and hit up my contact form on the bottom right of the page. Your feedback points me in the right direction, so don't hesitate to get in touch. And if you enjoy the show, it would be so cool if you could rate, review, or subscribe. And if you do end up writing a review on your favorite podcasting platform and you want to pick my brain, simply send me a screenshot of your review and I'll jump on a 15-minute messenger chat with you. I've got almost 2 decades of experience in digital media and marketing strategy for the world's most formidable brands and business strategy for startups and people with awesome ideas. I'm here to help you create a rock-solid foundation for your ideas and to share simple tips for eliminating overwhelm and burnout and becoming more organized and visionary in your life and work. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and thank you again for supporting the show.